Hi there, boys and girls. This is vocabulary for our new chapter book, The Bald Bandit. So I'm going to tell you all about the new words we will learn from this story. Here is the vocabulary for chapter 1. The first word is fangs. Fangs are just sharp teeth. A lot of animals have fangs. Some dogs have really sharp fangs. Our next word is vampire. A vampire is a creature that likes to suck your blood. And you might dress up like him on Halloween. So a vampire, as the story is told, is from Transylvania. And the most famous vampire is Dracula. The next word is upset. Upset just means you are not happy. You could be angry or sad. So upset is an adjective just like angry or sad. Next one is false. If something is false, it is not true. So if you say Teacher Donald is 100 years old, that is false. The next word is costume. Costume is something you wear, usually on Halloween. Or maybe if you're going to a comic book convention, you might dress up in a costume as your favorite superhero. The next word is sheet. Now you could have a sheet of paper, but this sheet is a part of the bed, so kind of like a thin blanket for your bed. This word is sheet. And the next word is a person, and this person is Elvis. He was a very famous singer and actor a long time ago. He was really popular around 1970, 1960. So this is Elvis. The next word is a swamp monster. And this is not a real creature, but there are stories of swamp monsters who live in swamps. And if you go swimming in the swamp, they might get you. The next one is another person, Groucho Marx. Now, he is a very famous comedian and actor from a very long time ago, back when TV and movies were done in black and white. Groucho Marx. Chapter 2, Vocabulary. The first word for Chapter 2 is redhead. Now, this does not mean your head is red. It means the hair on top of your head is red. So if someone has red hair, you would call them a redhead. Although most people, the hair doesn't really look red, it looks more orangey, but we still call them a redhead. Next one is split up. Split up is just when you separate or you go in different directions. So you were together, but then you had to split up. The next word is a million, and this is a very big number with 6 zeros. So that is a big number, a million. Next one is hood. Maybe your jacket or a sweater you own has a hood. Something to just cover your head if it gets rainy or cold outside. Hood. Next word is robbed, and this is the past tense of the verb rob, which means to take money from someone. Robbed. The next one is robbery. This is a noun. So you could say there was a robbery at the bank yesterday. So robbed is the past tense verb. Robbery is the noun. And the next word is the news. Maybe your parents watch it on TV or they read the newspaper. So the news is just the information of the day. And usually you might see Donald Trump on the news. Next one is reward. If you do something good, maybe you will get a reward. Maybe you get 100 on a test and your parents might give you a reward. Next one is Ireland. This is a country very close to England. And in Ireland, they have a lot of rivers and they have a lot of green hills and they like to play soccer in Ireland. And actually, my great-great-grandfather was from Ireland. So Ireland is just a country very close to England. The next one is search, and this is a verb to find something. So you can search the room for your eraser. Search just means to look closely for something. Now it's time for Chapter 3, vocabulary. The first word for Chapter 3 is shoe polish. Shoe polish is something you would use to make your shoes nice and shiny. Not your Nike basketball shoes, but maybe some nice black shoes that you have to wear on formal occasions. You would make them look a little cleaner with shoe polish. And the next one is cape. Superheroes wear one, or a long time ago, people might wear them to keep them warm. A cape. And the next one is Dracula. He's like the king of the vampires. Dracula. So it's just a make-believe person who was the king of the vampires. Next one, carrot. A vegetable rabbits like to eat, and you pull it from the ground. The next one is asparagus, which grows close to the ground, and you would pull it out just like a carrot, but it's a different kind of vegetable, asparagus. And the next word, sequins. Sequins are the little shiny things you can sew onto clothes to make your clothes look nice and shiny. And a lot of t-shirts have sequins on them where if you brush them up one way, it looks like a picture, but then when you brush them down, the picture will change. These are called sequins. The next word is terrified. Terrified is an adjective that means you're really, really scared. So maybe you're terrified of English teachers. Hopefully not. Next word, ghosts. Some people believe that there are spirits that fly around, and we would call these ghosts. Next one, witches. These are people that would make special brews and turn people into frogs, but they're only real if you believe in Disney stories. Next one, angels. These are creatures or people that have passed away that live in heaven, and they might come down to earth and help you. But these are, again, mostly stories. But a lot of people do believe in angels. Next one, zillion. Zillion seems like it might be a big number, but it's not even a real number. But some people might say, yeah, I have $1 zillion. They just don't know how to count because zillion is not a real number. But you might hear it sometimes when people are talking about a large number. The next word is gorilla. You might see him at the zoo. A gorilla is a very big, strong ape. Next one, jack-o'-lantern. Around Halloween, you will take a pumpkin and you will cut out a face and put a candle inside. And after you do that to the pumpkin is now called a jack-o'-lantern. And the next word is miniature or miniature. This is something that is very, very small. So these two little toy men are miniature. And this is where we get the word mini from. Mini is just short for miniature. Okay, here's chapter 4, vocabulary. And the first word is stiff. So maybe you're really, really scared and you can't move and your body's really straight, then your body is stiff. Kind of like a statue. The next word, reflection. This is what you see when you look in a mirror or a nice calm lake. So the polar bear in this picture can see its reflection. Next one, mirror. This is where you would see your reflection. And you probably have them around your home so you can check your hair. Make sure there's nothing in your nose. This is mirror. Next one, rusty. When metal gets kind of old, it turns kind of reddish brown because of some chemical reaction that's going on with it, and this is called rusty. The noun is rust, but the adjective to describe something with rust is rusty. So if you have a very old bike, maybe it's a little bit rusty. Okay, the next word is towel. This is what you use to dry your body after you go swimming or after a shower. Towel. And the next word is mohawk. This is actually two things. Mohawk is a hairstyle, and it's also a tribe of Indians that live in North America. And this tribe of Indians shaved their heads a special way with a straight line of hair down the middle. So the hairstyle actually came from this tribe of Indians, and it's mohawk. Next one, shooting hoops. If you're shooting hoops, you are just playing basketball. So you can ask your friends, hey, break time, let's go shoot some hoops. And if you are shooting hoops, you're just playing basketball. Next one is a barn. Now, some people might have a small one in their backyard, or if you live on a farm, you probably have a big one. So a barn is like a shed where you could keep tools or stuff for plants, things that you would want to keep outside of your house. So just a place in your backyard, you might have a barn. But because a lot of people in Taiwan live in apartments, I don't know of anyone who has a barn. Next one is bandit. This is kind of an old name for a bank robber. So when there were, in the time of cowboys, there might be a bad guy who robbed a bank and he would be called a bandit. Next one, bald. If someone does not have any hair on their head, they are bald. Next one, suspicious. If you think something looks a little weird, then it is a little bit suspicious. So if you see a man walking down the street with a big coat on and he's trying to hide his face, well, that's a little suspicious. Why is he trying to hide his face? Okay, the next word is cowboy. So someone who works on a farm and takes care of cows is called a cowboy. Next one, astronaut. Someone who works for NASA and flies into space is an astronaut. The next one, dentist. This is a person who will clean your teeth for you. Dentist. Next one, adorable. This word means the same as cute. So isn't that dog adorable? So next time, if you see something cute, you can impress your friends instead of saying, oh, how kawaii. But don't say that. You can say, oh, adorable. Okay, next one is rerun. A rerun is a TV show that's been shown again for the second time. So maybe you're watching cartoons on a Saturday and it's February 11th and you're watching Phineas and Ferb, but then the next Saturday you're watching the same Phineas and Ferb TV show, then that's called a rerun. So they just ran the cartoon again. Rerun. So sometimes you're watching TV and it might be disappointing, like, oh man, it's a rerun. I've already seen this one. Okay, next one they talk about in the chapter is another old TV show called I Love Lucy. And there was a famous comedian actress called Lucille Ball, and she had a TV show called I Love Lucy. And it's so old that TV was still black and white back then. And Lucille Ball, the star of the TV show I Love Lucy, has many quotes and she was very famous. And one of her most famous quotes is, I'd rather regret the things I have done than the things that I haven't. So this just means she likes to try something, and if it doesn't work out, well, maybe she'll regret it, or she won't be happy about it, but she'll still be happy that she tried it because that's better than not trying. So I'd rather regret the things I have done than the things that I haven't or haven't done. Okay, chapter 5 vocabulary. The first word is barbershop. This is where men or boys would go to get a haircut. And usually women will go to a hair salon, but men and boys would go to a barber shop. Next one, hearing aid. So if someone has trouble hearing, doctors will put a hearing aid in their ear to help them hear. So maybe people when they get older, they can't hear so well, and a hearing aid will help them. Next one is porch. And if you have a big house, you might have an area near the front door where it's still kind of covered and you can sit outside, and if it's raining, you won't be bothered too much. So the porch is just the front area of a house. Next one, pumpkins. These are big vegetables that people carve at Halloween. And here's the verb, carved. So when you stick a knife in something and you make a face out of it, then now this pumpkin has been carved. And sometimes people might carve their names into a tree. Next one is bank robber. So someone who robs a bank is a bank robber. So when they're taking money from a bank. Next one, detective. This is a special police officer, and they will try to investigate crimes like bank robberies. And usually you'll see a detective wearing a suit. They won't wear a uniform like a regular police officer. Next one, freckles. Some people might have brown spots on their face, and these are called freckles. Next one, fingers crossed. If you're hoping something will turn out in a good way, you might keep your fingers crossed to make sure you have good luck. So, fingers crossed. Okay, here's some Chapter 6 vocabulary. The first one is limping. So if you've hurt your leg and you can't walk very well, then you are limping, not really walking. So when I hurt my leg in basketball, I was limping for a very long time. Next one, beckoned. Beckoned is when you call someone to come over. So you can do it with a hand gesture, like in the picture here, or someone just might call you and say, hey, come here. And if someone calls you over, then you have been beckoned. Next one, wrestling. Two boys might do this to see who the strongest one is. So this is kind of like fighting, but you're not really punching and kicking. You're just kind of grabbing and trying to throw the other person onto the ground. Next one is fuzzy. So if something has kind of short, kind of ticklish hair when you touch it, then it's fuzzy. Next one, shaved. So when you cut all the hair off, then you have a shaved head. Next one, handed over. If someone has handed over something to you, that just means they gave it to you. So this person handed over the keys. So he gave the other person the keys. Handed over. Next one is nickname. So maybe your friends don't call you your real name. They have a special name for you that they call you. And this would be a nickname. So a nickname for Alexander would be Alex. Now my name is Donald, and I had a nickname growing up, and it was Donnie. So no one called me Donald, they would call me Donnie, and that was my nickname. Next one is college. This is a university. So when you're done high school, you will probably go to college. Next one, embarrassed. Maybe you fell down or you spilled something on your shirt, and you would feel embarrassed. Okay, Chapter 7 vocabulary. The first word is counter. Now, this isn't someone who counts numbers. A counter is just the place where maybe your mom or dad prepare dinner. So maybe they chop up the vegetables on the counter. Next one, donuts. And there are a couple ways people spell donuts. Sometimes you'll see it D-O-N-U-T-S, but you will also see it as D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T-S. And donuts are just a yummy round dessert. Next one, VCR. Now, growing up, if I wanted to watch a movie, you could borrow a VCR tape and put it in your VCR player. So it was just a way to record movies and watch movies. So a VCR turned into actually a DVD player, but now people don't even have DVD players. They have streaming services that they use. So a VCR is just an old way to watch videos or record videos from the TV, a VCR. Next one, ski mask. So when you're skiing, it's pretty cold outside, and you might want to keep your face warm, but bank robbers will use a ski mask to cover their face so the video cameras and people inside can't see who is robbing the bank. Next one, gym bag. So when you go exercise or play basketball, you might put all the stuff you need in a gym bag, but someone robbing a bank might carry a gym bag so they could put the money inside. Next one, eyes bugging out. If your eyes are bugging out, then maybe you're really surprised at something and your eyes just get very, very large. So your eyes are bugging out. Okay, here's chapter 8 vocabulary. And the first word here is eject button. And in chapter 7, there was the VHS recorder that we had. And this is a button on those machines, eject button, and it will just pop the videotape out. And their airplanes also have an eject button, but don't push it unless you really have to, because it will take the seat and make you shoot up into the sky, and then a parachute will come out. So an eject button just means to release something or let something come out. Next one, ditched. So maybe your friends were all together hanging out and they left you behind, then you just got ditched, okay? So ditched just means when someone is left behind from the group. Next one, commanded. Now the verb is command, and this is the past tense form of that verb, command. It just means to tell someone what to do. So the teacher commanded us to sit down and be quiet. Next one, identification. And this is the long form of ID. So maybe you've heard of ID, which is a card with your name and picture and information on it, but the whole word is actually identification. Next one is wallet. And this is usually carried by men, and that's where they keep their money and their credit cards and maybe name cards. Wallet. Next one, rope. Just a very thick string that you could tie something up with. If you go rock climbing, you might need to take a rope. Next one, shavings. If you have a pet hamster, guinea pig, or gerbil, you would put these little wood shavings at the bottom for them to kind of feel comfortable and sleep on. And even after you sharpen your pencil, there are pencil shavings inside the pencil sharpener. So these are just very thin pieces of wood. Next one, get away scot-free. So if you've done something kind of naughty and you get away with it and nobody knows you did it, then you got away scot-free, okay? Now, if you did something bad and you got caught and you got in a little bit of trouble, well, you got away with it, but not scot-free. You still maybe got in a little bit of trouble. So if you get away scot-free, it just means you're clear and nobody knows you did it. Next one, required. Required just means you need to do something. And you might see it on a sign like this, like eye protection is required. So if you're working in this place, you need to protect your eyes. So required is something that is needed and necessary. Next one, private detective. Now, a detective is one that works for the police force, but a private detective is usually hired by some rich person who wants to get pictures of something and some more information. So a private detective doesn't work at the police station. They just work for other people, but they still kind of do the same job. Next one, to jump someone. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to jump over someone. To jump someone means you're going to surprise attack them. So the tiger jumped the little boy. So it just means he surprise attacked him. Okay, here's chapter 9, the last one. And the first word is stumbled. So maybe you're walking along and you trip a little bit. You just stumbled. Now, sometimes you can stumble and fall down, so be careful. Next one, handcuffs. And this is what police use to kind of tie a bad guy's hands up so they can't get away. So they'll put handcuffs on you as they take you to the police station. Next one, wrists. So this is the part of your body between your hand and your arm, the wrists. And that's where the handcuffs go. They go over your wrists. Next one, thief. And this word means the same as bank robber or bandit, just someone who steals something. Thief. And the next one, clever. If you are very smart, you are also clever. Next one, hired. So maybe there's a job you really want to have and you apply for that job, and after the interview, maybe you have been hired. That just means you got the job. And next one, deserves. So deserve is the verb, deserves is the present simple form of that verb. And if you deserve something, it means you worked hard and you earned it. And it was used in a McDonald's commercial. You deserve a break today. So go to McDonald's and get a little fat. Okay, next one, check. Now, this is not the verb check, like the teacher will check your homework. This check is something people write, and it just means when you take it to the bank, they'll give you that money. So if I don't have any cash on me or any paper money, I can say, oh, okay, I'll write you a check. So then I'll write my name on it, how much, and who the check is for, and then you would take it to the bank, and the bank would take the money out of my account and then put it into your account. So a check is just another way to get money. Next one, reward. A reward is like a prize that you get for doing something really, really well. So maybe if the teacher is really happy, there might be a pizza reward at the end of the semester for you. Reward. Next one, 5,000. This is just a big number, a 5 with 3 zeros. And you might also see it sometimes spelled as 5K. So if you have 5K, then you have 5,000. And next one, calculator. This is just a machine people use to help them do math. Calculator. But now people just use the calculator function on their cell phones. Next one, brave. If you are not scared to do something, then you are brave. And firefighters are extremely brave. Next one, penny. A penny is a small copper coin in America, and it's 1 cent. Now it looks just like the $1 in Taiwan, but a penny is only worth 1% of a dollar. And there are pennies in Canada as well. Next one, savings account. So this is just the place where you keep the money in the bank. So if you have a piggy bank that's really, really full of change, you can take it to a bank and open up a savings account. Then you give them the money and they will keep it safe for you. A savings account. Just a way to save your money in a bank. Next one, out of breath. Maybe when you walk up many, many stairs in the morning, you get to the top and you are out of breath. It just means that you're having a hard time breathing. And the next one is blue money. Now the verb is blow money, and this just means to waste money or throw it away. So if your parents give you a lot of money and you just go to the store and buy a bunch of candy or just give it away to your friends, then you blew that money. The best thing to do with money is to save it or save up for something you really, really want. Okay, boys and girls, that's all the vocabulary for our chapter book, The Bald Bandit. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.